information, go to foxnews.com/iPad. Well, this weekend, of course, we are all celebrating Father's Day across the country. And could there be a better way to honor your dad than to follow in his footsteps? California Representative Duncan D. Hunter did just that. He succeeded his father, Duncan L. Hunter, in Congress. And they're both joining me from their district in San Diego, dear friends of mine, Duncan Hunter and Duncan Hunter. So I'm going to start with the current Congressman, Duncan Hunter. You grew up in a political family. You saw your dad as a congressman. Is that when you decided you wanted to be a congressman? I want to be a congressman like my father. Was that what happened?
No, the opposite. In fact, that's when I realized I didn't want to be a congressman at all. In fact, I promised my wife that I would never get into politics because it was horrible. My dad was always gone. He missed my high school graduation. I mean, it's not fun to be in a political family. So the opposite. I didn't realize that I wanted to be in Congress until I was in Fallujah on my second tour in the Marine Corps and realized that there were political stakes and political things which affected real people out in the field, especially national security-wise. So that's when I decided. But no, the opposite, Mike. I didn't want to be in Congress. I wanted to be as far from politics as possible. And
well,
look
you
where
failed.
I am.
You failed. Now
So,
you're in Congress. You know, I've got to give your dad a little equal time here. Former Congressman Hunter, this gets confusing, Duncan and Duncan, but I'll call you Duncan 1 and Duncan 2, maybe. I'll do it that way. When you first heard that Duncan was going to come back from the Marine Corps and run for Congress, were you shocked? Because, I mean, after all, it wasn't like that's what he said he wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, Mike, there's a little Huckabee history in here, too, and that while as you know, I ran briefly for president in '08, and while the rest of us were taking our shellacking from you in South Carolina, Duncan and Sam, my other son, who's still in the Army, he joined the Army like me. He followed the right path, not the Marines, and he's up at Fort Lewis.
We may need a referee out there before this is over.
Well, as you know, though, Duncan was making speeches for me, and a lot of people, in fact, I think it may have come from some of your guys, was that that younger Hunter is the best one out there. He's the best campaigner. And so about halfway through the '08 season, Duncan had gotten out of the Marines at that point, and he announced one day, he said, I'm running for Congress, and he threw his hat in the ring. The Marines pulled him back in and sent him to Afghanistan. They reactivated him, sent him to Afghanistan. But you may recall he was making those great speeches in South Carolina, doing pretty good, I might add. And of course, you shellacked the field, and they ended up being the guy that carried that nomination competition to the very end with McCain. But that's really when I saw Duncan really doing a great job in the political arena for the first time.
But you're proud of him. I mean, obviously, there's a side of you that you look at your son and see how he's serving, and you got to say, wow, what a great honor to know that my son is willing to do what I did for 28 years in Congress.
Hey, it's kind of neat, Mike, except, it's tough when I call up and I want to get after my congressman. It's tough to get some time with him.
I still take his calls because he is actually in my district, so the office does have to answer his calls, Mike.
Well, I want to thank both of you for being here. Looking forward to having you back on. Love both of you. I don't know of any two men that I just honor more than Duncan Hunter and Duncan Hunter, two wonderful American heroes to me. And happy Father's Day to both of you guys. Have a great weekend.
Happy Father's Day, Mike. And, we wish we were out there campaigning for Mike Huckabee for president right now.
Well, I appreciate it very much. And by the way, let me just say this to all of you folks out there. If I had run for president and I had won, Duncan Hunter would have been the Secretary of Defense. There's nobody who knows the whole world of it better than Duncan Hunter.
Governor, thank you. I
love his son. They're great people. Thank you for being here.
That's not you, it's me.
All right, up next, we've got some folks that we found on YouTube singing some song parodies about me. I had no idea there were so many things that rhyme with Huckabee, and you're going to hear their latest song when we come back.
This program